I'm Sharon Momanyi. A sign language interpreter is Meresha Awiti. National Assembly Majority Leader Aden Duale and former Deputy Speaker Farah Maalim have sparked off another round of political supremacy and propaganda wars as another hate video emerged. This time, it is a video seemingly showing Maalim inciting his people against other tribes. And Duale says he wants to see Maalim roasted with the same kind of heat that was brought to bear on Duale a week ago. And as KTN's senior political affairs reporter Duncan Hayamba reports, Duale took off his gloves just as Maalim and Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka led a major rally in Garissa to show Duale who has the numbers.
Garissa town played host to opposition heavyweights in what was termed as former Deputy Speaker Farah Maalim's homecoming after joining the Wiper party. Led by Wiper party boss Kalonzo Musyoka, the opposition members were explicit about their mission in town.
Wangapa nasema Duale nyumbani. Huyu ndiye ndawa ya Duale.
Farah Maalim, now Wiper Party's deputy party leader, has switched from his former base Lagdera and is now seeking to unseat Majority Leader Aden Duale as Garissa Town Member of Parliament.
Kwa hivyo nimekuja leo kuambia kumekucha. Sema kumekucha.
Farah wapi? Farah Maalim wapi?
Duale amepoteza njia.
As the leaders condemned the government for what they termed constant harassment of opposition leaders in the coast region.
Na mimi naamini maisha yangu iko kwa mikono ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Riziki yangu iko mikononi kwa nani? Hakuna mtu atantisha, my friend, sitishiki.
Wewe uko na bahati kubwa. Wanaokutafutia kura kwa wingi kila siku ijayo ni wanajubilii. Wakikushika, mimi ni senior lawyer. I will lead this time the defense team.
But even as they went about bashing Duale, another controversial video recording has emerged which appears to show Farah Maalim addressing a gathering at a Nairobi hotel, which his opponents say it's blatant ethnic and sectarian incitement.
أول قيمه أنا وحدي أمانة الصومالي أنا أريد أن أكسر قارن ويان ماشي قرن كوه النووي بقولي هذا أنا ولا لو وريجي أو تمشي تراي خلوري ولا يتعال لو لما وريجينا حلو وريجي إلا سي أنبياء الله سي دمية الله سي بابية أو مركب بدن نقدم بيسان إسكتر كرمات.
In the video, Farah Maalim is seen talking about matters that touch on national security by allegedly stating that the continued stay of the Kenya Defence Forces in Somalia is not about flashing out the ragtag Al-Shabaab militia.
Objective called Uttam Base or Meshu and Kijil Sapuso Namariana. Ayagi, Ethiopia, Kenya, Ekasodam, Regal, but Tele, Skumel Books of Risarisa. وتلاقى كانوا وحويان كينيان كان فرض برانو إسكور فرفورة سيدول كان لود بجلها بحد بمركي الأركي فارستي إيا الرابكي إيا وبيالكي إيا نمعادي ماشي كويتشتا وحالا يري ورمال كلامطاليان وفرات سنة وحبا نسكو الله ينفست بالي إيو كالنجين أكبرنا عيساني كوكيلي عن كاسي هل كان دوك هلا تجيبك ماشي يقص عطول لغو إلى أنها يعيدا كوحكا لماها بل كاسا لود اللي يحي.
And in a classic case of tit for tat is a fair game, Majority Leader in the National Assembly, Aden Duale, who came under fire last week after a similar audio recording went viral, is equally calling for stern action to be taken against Maalim.
Right, we seem to have technical issues with regard to the sound of that story, but let's move on. And as that happened, as Duale and Farah Maalim were digging in for the fight for the Garissa Township Parliamentary Office, another round of verbal showdown was just getting underway between Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho and the Coast Regional Coordinator Nelson Mara. Mara now says that Joho is lying about being arrested and or detained by police yesterday. Mara insists that Joho and his allies tried to force the release of a friend of Joho's who had been arrested on suspicion of being a drug baron and having illegal guns. Take a look.
Halafu tukisema kila mtu anakuwa pilipili jameni. Shida yenu ni nini?
A day after Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho claimed that he had been arrested and held at the Coast Police Headquarters, Coast Regional Coordinator Nelson Mara came out guns blazing, dismissing Joho as a pretender and a man who has no respect for the law.
And we know the large agenda. The large agenda was to create acrimony between the government and wananchi, draw a line, create tension, conflict, sympathy. Kwani ikura utapata kwa create sympathy. If you have done nothing, you have done nothing. Kama umefanya maendeleo, achia wananchi. But don't incite, create a we feeling, so that people support you because of building a we feeling. No. Aliwa provoke. Alitukana huyu officer. We have the clips. The officer is crying and anasema, what did I do to this guy? How do you go and harass officers in a government office? How? And you call yourself a governor of a county. Ebu angalia county zote 47. Hakuna kesi kama hiyo. He should count himself very lucky. These officers were very friendly to him as a leader. Yeah, hata kama kuna chai mungempatia kunywe hapo kwa ofisi because he is a leader.
Mara claims that Joho stormed at the Mombasa CAD headquarters demanding the release of a suspected drug baron found with more than 3 guns at his home.
Mtu mmoja anashikwa na bunduki 3-4 kwa nyumba. Izile ni zile ameenda, amepita kwa milango ya nyuma, amepewa. Anaweza kuprove either documents are fake or not fake. What about zile ambazo ni illegal guns? And why would a governor mobilize everybody kuja kurescue a suspect? Uhusiano huwa ni nini? Ni ndugu yake, ni cousin. Hata kiwa ndugu yangu amekosea, inaacha sheria inafanya kazi yake.
The regional coordinator alleged there was a link between Joho and the suspect, whom he refused to name, concerning a business he was transacting, adding that the suspect was found with an air ticket and he was planning to escape.
Uhusiano wake na huyu suspect ni nini? And why must he mobilize everybody to come and rescue a potential drug baron who is wanted by everybody and with several armories in his house? A leader worthy his salt goes to rescue this kind of individual and he tells Kenyans he wants to be a president some years to come.
Interestingly, Joho's allies in court are now raising their own counterclaims about the alleged detention drama, alleging that the Jubilee government is out to frame Joho to finish him politically. But Mara maintains the general operation will not stop in mopping up illegal guns as the country heads into an election mode. So far, the police have managed to arrest 2 suspects in Lamu County.
Now there is a link between Lamu, Mombasa, Malindi, Diani, Mtwapa. Unaona? Na hii cocaine ndio inalishwa vijana wetu so that watumike kama militia to disrupt campaigns, to intimidate opponents. Let's stand up as Kenyans and speak the truth.
The Coast Regional Coordinator Nelson Mara refused to name the suspect but could confirm that he was arrested with an air ticket, and now the police believe that the suspect was on a mission to run out of the country. Francis Mtalaki, KTN News, Mombasa.
Right, and those intrigues from Mombasa form the basis of our Twitter poll tonight. And we're asking you, do you agree with Mara that Joho wants to create tension in Mombasa? Do you agree with Mara that Joho wants to create tension in Mombasa? I see a number of your comments and views already streaming in through our Twitter handles, and I'll just sample a few of them. And David Muthui Mwangi says, thank you, Mara. You are being second to Matiang'i. Kick these cartels out of our country, of which Joho is one. We see Omar Idi here saying that no, Mara should stop being a Jubilee puppet and concentrate on his job. Harrison Mwale says, let's follow the law and stop side shows. I'll read two more. Wako Abduba says, no, Joho did not arrest himself. Security officials started it. And Joseph Gina says that Mara is biased. Why don't we see neutrality in him? Do keep your views coming in. Remember, that question is, do you agree with Mara that Joho wants to create tension in Mombasa? Keep your comments coming in at KTN News, at Sharon_Momanyi, #Weekend Prime. Right, and back in Nairobi, President Uhuru Kenyatta lashed out at the opposition for allegedly spreading lies and propaganda against the ruling Jubilee administration. Uhuru cautioned the country against falling for what he called the opposition propaganda that the government has not fulfilled the pledges it gave to the people.
State House, Nairobi. Kajiado County leaders led a delegation of members of the Maasai community to pledge their loyalty and support for the Jubilee agenda ahead of the August general election. The president urged the leaders to support Jubilee Party's membership recruitment drive and in the one-month countrywide registration of voters that begins Monday.
Tukitoka hapa, twende tukaandikishe wanachama. Lakini wakati tunaandikisha wanachama, tuandikishe pia wapigaji kura. Mwaka wa 2013, wakati huo naweza kufikiria labda mlikuwa mnaogopa kwa sababu Vice President, Prime Minister, wote walikuwa serikali, labda mlikuwa mnaweza kufikiria labda wanaweza kushinda. Hawa sasa ndio wako nje.
The president criticized the opposition for spreading propaganda against the government's development agenda.
Mshangao wangu mimi ni ya kwamba bado sasa kuna watu ambao wanakuja wanajaza propaganda ya kwamba hakuna lolote serikali ya Jubilee imefanya. No, lakini ni ukweli.
Uhuru told the delegation that the opposition has nothing to offer the country.
Kalonzo amekuwa serikali miaka ngapi? Mudavadi amekuwa kutoka tutoke shule, mimi nikiwa bado shule. Na ni mtu ya rika yangu. Ni mtu ya rika yangu. Wakati mimi nilikuwa shule, yeye bado alikuwa waziri wa serikali ya Moi. Raila ndio huyo, alikuwa na nusu mkate yake, atuoneshe project moja ya Kajiado ambaye alifanya na miaka yake 5 ndani ya serikali. One project.
The president says the government has undertaken many development projects in Kajiado County in the last 3 years.
Mambo ya maji ambayo pia itaendelea, mambo ya stima hata kama kwingine haijafika, mimi najua kuna sehemu zingine, because we have done over 60,000 connections in Kajiado alone. So hata kama haijafika kila pahali, bado tunaendelea. Hivi karibuni hii barabara ya Gong Kiserian, mimi mwenyewe nitakuja kuianzisha.
Ningependa kukushukuru kwa wewe mwenyewe kunipatia kazi ya waziri ya usalama wa nchi yetu.
Kuna title deeds ambazo tunataka. Geshagi ya Ngong hawana title. Bulbul hawana title. Na Kwale hawana title.
Uhuru called on Jubilee aspirants to work together and support whoever wins the nominations. Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
Renowned scholar Professor Richard Rock Ajulu was today laid to rest in his ancestral home in Bondo, Siaya County, in a ceremony that was attended by leaders of the opposition and foreign dignitaries. Timothy Otieno reports.
Send-off for the much-acclaimed scholar and activist at his home in Bondo would be an event graced by Kenya's opposition leader Raila Odinga. It was a traditional rite of passage to the afterlife for a man whose burial was attended by 8 cabinet ministers from South Africa and a host of opposition leaders here in Kenya.
Because I was able to foresee things which are coming. And sitting and talking with the people with the knowledge helps you to also polish some of the things that you have in your hands.
That we may live.
But the ceremony quickly metamorphosized from a burial to an event meant to have the opposition settle a growing political score with the ruling Jubilee Party, who had just 24 hours earlier accused their opponents of previously failing the country, yet seeking to lead it again.
In 2013, we faced a formidable opponent with half the government, a prime minister sitting, a vice president sitting. But today, we face a clueless, rudderless, leaderless, planless, disorganized opposition.
Yes, we may be clueless because we don't know how to get Eurobond or where the money for Eurobond goes. We are leaderless because we do not know how to lead in corruption.
Let us not be distracted by those who have no direction but power for the sake of power.
Uhuru Kenyatta, who is our president, should respect Kenyans. Kenyans have told him what they want. And he should not, think about Raila. When he's sleeping, he's only thinking about Raila. What we are talking about is not Raila alone. This is all, the whole of Kenya is talking about corruption in this country.
The opposition also using the occasion to rally their troops to register in mass come Monday's start of the second phase of voter registration, insisting that the legacy left behind by Professor Aulu would be put to the ultimate test during this year's general elections.
I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all our people, wherever they are, to turn up in numbers and register as voters, so that we become true soldiers. The spirit of Aulu will live on the 8th of August. Ajulu's spirit will be with us. When we have a new government in the Republic of Kenya, I know that Aulu will be wherever he is, together with Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, to say that the fight that we fought for so many years, that fight has come with the results that we desire.
The man, described as a top-notch thinker and scholar, was eulogized as a revolutionist whose struggle for the democratic space in Kenya and South Africa would forever remain imprinted in the annals of history. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
And may his soul rest in peace. Let's now talk about a matter that is causing devastation in various parts of the country, and residents of Chesitet in Baringo County are in dire need of food and water as drought bites the region. The East Pokot area last received rainfall in June 2016. Water bodies have dried up, with the locals consuming wild fruits to survive. Victor Ogale reports.
While most parts of Kenya are experiencing dry spells, in Chesitet, Baringo County, drought began biting in July 2016 after the last downpour was experienced a month earlier. We arrived at John Lonyangapuo Chesitet Primary School, which has been closed down due to lack of water. Residents work communally to fetch water as households do not have enough labor, making it a communal responsibility. A kilometer away we get to Chesakam village. This used to be River Nginyang, flowing all the way from Kipsaraman in Baringo North into Lake Turkana. However, due to the persistent dry spell being experienced here, the locals have been forced to dig water holes at various places in search of the precious commodity as a mitigating factor. The water holes have since turned into killer water holes, as the village has already lost 3 men since October after they were buried alive. Each well has a depth of between 5 to 10 meters. When one wants to fetch water for domestic use, or even herders want to fetch water for livestock, at least 4 people are forced to line up from the bottom to the top of the well so that they can pass water containers from one person to another. I joined 76-year-old Lochilet Lokongo and one of his sons. His son, Town Lokwepe, perished in October after the walls of a well caved in. His remains were buried here along the banks of River Nginyang, which is in line with the Pokot cultural rights regarding a person who perishes near or at a water body.
Tuko hali mbaya. Tuko riski sana. Sababu ya wanano wawili, mali imekufa, hakuna nyasi. Sisi wenyewe tumekufa na njaa. Ukitembelea huko kwetu kwa boma sote, ukiona watoto wadogo, ukiona mtu tu sijui kama ni mchanga ama nini, nyeupe na ujui utakula nini? Maziwa hakuna. Ukipiga uji bure.
Tungeomba serikali watuletee maji kupitia kwa water tracking, kama ni water buses ama kwa njia yote, kwa sababu watu wameteseka hapa. Tumefunga shule ya Chesitet Primary School kwa sababu ya maji, kosa maji. Shule kama Chesitet Primary School, Chesakam Primary School tayari inafungwa.
Chesitet Dam, the only source of water in the entire region, dried up in October last year, forcing a section of residents to seek the precious commodity from River Kapedo. Interestingly, 2 years ago, the county announced the sinking of more than 100 boreholes, with over 30 allocated to Tiachi constituency. However, the residents described the project as a white elephant, saying most of the boreholes were only drilled and never equipped.
Kwa sababu umeona nyasi kweli mkipita wao ni mlima. Unaona nyasi kweli. Along pile mnaenda paka Chesitet. Mnaona mbali kwa nyasi kweli. Kwa hivyo ile kitu hiko serikali kama nyinyi mmekuja hapa. Mjue mambo ya maji, chakula ya binadamu. Alafu pia angewezekana serikali ape watu pesa ya kununua hata nyasi. Ile inaitwa upande ile nyingine.
Meters away, we find this group of villagers feeding on wild fruits, which they have to boil for hours to reduce the toxic chemicals in it. 70-year-old Lolima Chipotolepo sits calmly, but towards the end of the year, she dislocated her arm after she fell inside a waterhole while carrying a 20-liter jerrycan. Due to the long distance to the nearest Chemolingot sub-county hospital, coupled with poor infrastructure, the elderly woman has not been to any doctor. Victor Gale, KTN News, County of Baringo.
Such devastating pictures there and cries from the people of Chesitet in Baringo County, absolutely a matter of humanitarian concern. And it's almost the same narrative of acute food and water shortage in Turkana County, where hundreds of livestock have died and thousands of people face starvation. The drought has left many sheep, goats, donkeys and camels emaciated, and some dropped dead even as they struggle to get feeds. And joining us now from Turkana County is our reporter Joan Letting, with more on this. And Joan, how would you describe the drought situation there right now?
Thank you, Sharon. As we speak, the drought situation in Turkana is very wanting, because we were on the ground and hundreds of livestock are actually dropping dead each passing day as the pastoralists try to get pasture for them. So the situation here is very dire and very sad and very devastating. And I think those responsible should actually come out and help these people, because the vegetation is drying up because of the locusts and also because of the drought. Back to you, Sharon.
Right, Joanne, and perhaps which are the areas that are affected in the county?
We have 3 constituencies which are actually affected out of the 6 in the county. We have places like Kibish, we have Kairi, Kokro in Turkana North, and then we have Lomil and Lokiyama in Loima sub-counties, and then we have Lokipoto in Turkana West.
Right, Joanne, and we can see from the pictures that we are running on the screens right now that many livestock really have died out of this situation. Do we know of any perhaps reported fatalities, human fatalities, as a result of this?
As we speak, Sharon, we have not received any reports on that, because the pastoralists are actually moving to other countries. We have people moving into Uganda, into Ethiopia, and some into South Sudan. in a bid to get at least pasture and water for their livestock. So far, no people have been reported dead.
Right, Joanne. And is there any form of help that we have seen getting to these affected areas from whatever quarters?
We had the county government were actually distributing food to the most affected areas, and we are still waiting because the people who are affected by drought are actually very many, and the county has to offer a lot of food for those people. So far, it's only a small percentage of help.
Or that the county government has been taking food to these places?
Yeah, a section of the places.
All right. Many thanks, Joanne. Indeed, we shall be keeping with you to get updates regarding this situation on the ground. Many thanks for speaking to us. Now, welcome back and many thanks for staying with KTN Weekend Prime. Now, inter-community conflict has denied a top KCPE exam candidate in Tot area, Kerio Valley in Elgeyo Marakwet, a chance to enroll in a national school. It is for this reason that elders from Marakwet community conducted a special caste ceremony, which they claim will kill anyone involved in brutal killings and cattle rustling. Elvis Kosgei now reports from Kerio Valley.
She looks on with teary eyes as she holds an admission letter from St. Teresa Tartar High School, a national school in West Pokot County. Unfortunately, her chances seem to be fading away as reality beckons from the effects of inter-community conflict. Homesteads, roads and market centers have been deserted. Vivian Jeb Kosgei, a 14-year-old orphan from Tot area in Marakwet region in Elgeyo Marakwet County, emerged as one of the best performers in 2016 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examinations with 351 marks despite numerous interruptions by gun-wielding raiders from the neighboring community.
Nyumba ilichomwa, sasa tukatoroka huko choo, hakuna chochote tunachofanya.
Kwa sababu hii insecurity affected this area properly. Mbuzi yote imeenda, ng'ombe imeenda, kila kitu imetoka. Familia ana chochote. Juzi nilitembelea huko mpaka kwao. Nikakuta penye anaishi ni pathetic. Pathetic completely.
Even when she was sitting for examinations, her mother, her only parent, disappeared as victims sought refuge in caves and up the hill.
Mambo ya insecurity, I was sure that I will come out with 400 marks, lakini kutoka na hayo nikapata alama 351. Ombi langu ni kwamba mkinisaidia, I will make sure I'll come out with A star or A minor.
The brutal killings from raiders who have been wreaking havoc has now attracted the wrath of elders from Marakwet community. You may think they're just blowing their own trumpet, but there is more than meets the eye. Mzeego claims the cursing ceremony is usually conducted when things get out of hand.
Hii kitu inashafanyika sungini kwa huko Jepchor. Iko watu walikuwa na kuja suia barabara kunyang'anya watu mali yao. Sinaenda huko. Yo watu hakuna hata mmoja saa hii. Naisha yote.
So baada
ya hii enda mwezi mmoja utasikia watu nakubwa. Kwa hii tu. Kwa hii.
The clans hold a lot of respect whatever decision they are making.
Na ndiposa leo tuko hapa kuhakikisha pamoja na wazee wa hii area yote ya Endo ya kwamba hayo makubaliano yote yamezingatiwa.
He claims the life of the raiders is now in danger.
Yeye anapata hiyo mawe. Sasa ndio natuba mawe hiyo ni mtu. Tutuba mawe hiyo ni mtu. Na ile watu na fanya hiyo nini Ureru. natoka hawa. Huwezi kaa hata mwezi 3 bila mtu kubwa.
According to Red Cross Kenya, who delivered iron sheets to the victims, the economic activity in the region is now grinding to a halt.
Kuanzia leo watu wataendelea na maisha yao na wataendelea kuishi pamoja kama jamii ya Marakwet.
Locals are accusing the government of neglecting them as gun-toting raiders continue to terrorize them. Elvis Kosgei, KTN News, Tot area, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
Right, I guess cast are the raiders of Tot area as they are told to count their days, to death. Well, it's from that story. We want to take another short break here on KTN Weekend Prime. Many thanks for staying with us. Don't go too far. We have more when we return. Welcome back. Now, Meru Governor Peter Munya has complained bitterly over remarks by Senator Kiraitu Murungi, who yesterday referred to Munya's PNU party as a goat that will be slaughtered in August. Listen to this.
Tutaonana na ndugu wengine wale tunatafuta viti ya governor, msiwe na wasiwasi. Kuna mbuzi nyingine inatembea huko inaitwa PNU, lakini msijali, itachinjwa mwezi wa August 2017.
Kumbuka huyo mzee anaitwa Kiraitu. Ule mzee wa zamani ambaye tunataka aende retire. Tunajua siasa yake imeseeka. Yeye mwenyewe miaka imeenda, amepotea njia. Sasa anaruka huko Nairobi anafikiria ataletwa. Hawa ni wale nasema watu wa kuletwa.
Now, a section of the Aberdare Forest has been on fire since yesterday. The Kenya Forest Service and the Kenya Wildlife Service have been fighting to contain the situation. Dorcas Wangira reports.
The Aberdare Forest ecosystem, within which lies the Aberdare Forest National Park, has been on fire since Friday 11 a.m. The flames began to consume the moorland grasses and shrubs on the Gataragua side, the dry season's heat and winds fanning the flames.
Community around this area in Wandare, Bellevue, Baringo, and all over, they have really done a great job. Together, in assisting us, together with Kenya Forest Service staff and our staff, and we hope that the fire will die.
The Aberdare's indigenous trees are as old as 100 to 600. If the flames would get here, their regeneration will have to take centuries. The Kenya Forest Service and Kenya Wildlife Service officials say that the moorland and grass shrub regeneration will depend on the long rains, a year at least. But what was it exactly that sparked the fire?
We are suspecting the fire could have been as a result of honey gatherers, because in those high areas also we normally have people sometimes who go for honey within the rocks.
The worst fire experience here was in 2013, where over 100 square kilometers of rangeland was destroyed. 99% of forest fires, almost all, are caused by illegal activity. The ramifications very big.
Let's talk sports now, and Butali Warriors' hopes of winning this year's Africa Hockey Club Championships came to an end after falling to the defending champions Eastern Company. Butali, who drew 2-2 at full time, lost 4-2 on the shootout. In the seeding match of the day, Shakia emerged with a 3-2 win over ex-Checkers from Ghana. Robinson Okenye reports.
Took on Africa Hockey Club Championship defending champions Eastern Company from Egypt in the first semi-final of this year's edition of the Continental Showpiece. Both teams seemed even from the kickoff, and it took the defending champions 23 minutes to break the deadlock with a well-worked short corner. The lead, however, did not last, as a minute later Butali equalized through Emmanuel Simiyu. Butali kept pressing their opponents, and Rooks and Juice doubled the lead for the 2015 Kenya Hockey League champions a minute to the break. After the breather, the Egyptians came back a rejuvenated lot, and 10 minutes into the second half, Ibrahim Amr managed to grab an equalizer. The two teams continued to knock on each other's door, but neither team managed to find an edge, sending the match into a shootout. In the shootout, Butali failed to convert 2 of their penalties as their opponents converted 4 to send them into the finals.
It was very difficult that we are playing on the Kenyan ground with the Kenyan team, so it was very difficult. But we did our best effort, and alhamdulillah, we won the match.
I think it was worthy competition. I think we gave it our best shot. Unfortunately, sometimes luck plays a part in you winning or losing. So I think we were not very lucky today, but it was a difficult match.
In other matches of the day, Shakia men's team took the 5th position in the ranking match after getting a 3-2 win over Ghana's Exchequers. In the ladies' tie, Ghana Police grabbed a 6-2 win over Shakia. Robinson Okenyi, KTN Sports.
Now, the 12th edition of the Standard County Golf Classic Series got underway today at the Kakamega Sports Club, with different players eager to star. 90 golfers from different parts of the county took part in this year's event, which the organizers have been using as an avenue to grow sports. Many of those players who were impressive were drawn from Kakamega, Nandi Bears, Nyanza Club, Kisii, Mbale and Tororo clubs. Standard Group has promised to continue to sponsor the annual series.
This is the 12th series within the series that we are organizing, and we are happy to be around. The Standard is showcasing her products, digital, print, TV, and telling the customers that we are happy for their patronage.
Right, and before we wind up the bulletin tonight, just to remind you about our Twitter poll question tonight, and we had asked you, do you agree with Mara that Joho wants to create tension in Mombasa? 59% of you say no, you do not agree with Mara. 38% of you say yes, they do agree, and 3% of you are not sure. And just to sample a few of your views, we have Kembo Dale, who says that Governor Joho is becoming a nuisance to Jubilee government and tension has been brewed. We have Nula Mulungie, who says that no, Mara is only doing politics here. Let him resign and venture in politics if that is what he wishes. And Felix Simba says that Mara should cease engaging in politics. He is too partisan. So just a few of your views that have come in through Twitter. Many thanks for engaging with us and for taking your time to watch us tonight. Many thanks for your viewership. And that's where we wrap up this edition of KTN Weekend Prime. On behalf of the entire team that made it possible for it to come to you, I wish you a splendid night and a good weekend ahead. I'm Sharon Momanyi. Good night.